Please be seated. Councilmember Berg wanted to participate in an idea that was floated several council meetings ago called Port Hueneme Pride. And the idea was to honor citizens in our community for their contributions to making Port Hueneme a better place. So this is informal to the extent that it's not an official city declaration. It's part of the inspiration, but Will Berg specifically wanted to pay tribute, acknowledgement to Roberta and Larry Downing for their efforts, particularly in the resurrection of the Port Hueneme Historical Museum. And I believe the person's going to be making the actual presentation. Is that Mr. Dunn? Is that my understanding? So please take it away. Again, this is Will Berg's show, but I'm passing it on to you.
Yes, as I was saying, I was here 10 years and going back and forth up and down Ventura Road, and didn't really know much about the city. And I was stationed here in 1968 in the Seabees for a few months and never thought I'd be back. And then one day I went by the museum and I said, wow, what's that? And I went in and looked at it, and I was absolutely blown away. I never saw it before when it was in the state of, shall I say, disrepair. But when I went in there, there is stuff in there that you cannot believe, well taken care of, a complete history of Port Hueneme, and especially for somebody, and most of us came from somewhere else here. There's very few natives. And so along with some other things, I decided that this gentleman and his wife really went above and beyond, and they did what I thought was establish real pride in Port Hueneme. So I thought about, as I started doing Hello Port Hueneme, I found many, many more people like this. And so I thought we need to honor these people. And I came up along with Stephen Gama, who I discussed this with and knew a lot more about the city than I did. And we're putting together Port Hueneme Pride. And it is to distinguish people who have gone beyond the norm. And I'd like the first recipients to be Larry and Roberta Downing, and give them this plaque that we're going to give out to all of our recipients as we go down the road. And anybody that knows of any other people, let us know. Larry and Roberta, please come forward.
Well, thank you so much. When we started this off, I never expected anything from it. I never have been recognized for anything positive. And so I'm just totally amazed. I'm so grateful. We love volunteering, and we volunteer on a lot of things besides the museum, a whole lot of things. And it's a pleasure. Giving is better than receiving. We have wonderful people who have helped them. Helped us. The list is long. He does the heavy lifting, but I do as much as I can, and this never happened to me before.
If I may,
Yeah.
for the sake of cameras, could you guys move to this side over here to your right a little bit more, because our camera up here doesn't catch people over there, but you're facing away from the camera. Look more or less this way, if you will.
All right, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you,
Thank you
gentlemen.
so much.
And use the microphone. Thanks a lot.
Here, yeah.
Yes.
I thank each of you for recognizing Roberta and I with Hueneme Pride. I hope I live up to this special recognition, and thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tonight's inspiration is about a fellow I haven't even met yet. His name is Kevin Brannon, and he gives of his time selflessly in mentoring the youth of our community, using the great outdoors as his classroom, specifically fishing. As we did at the last Inspiration, we celebrated an individual, actually a couple, that also give of them selflessly, and that's the purpose of what we call Hueneme Pride. And so at this point, I would like to bring up Mr. Stephen Gama, who I believe will be making the presentation and embellish upon my introduction. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Fig and council members and staff. Yes, 20 years ago, Kevin Brannon graduated from high school, and Port Hueneme is where Kevin Brannon's story begins. As a young adult, he struggled to break through the challenges of living in a fatherless home. He persevered, and 4 years ago, he had an idea to combine his love of fishing with helping disadvantaged youth. He created the Real Guppy Outdoors program, initially self-funding the idea. He began knocking on doors, speaking with various fishing enthusiasts, and collecting broken fishing gear. With the help of several friends and his family, he began repairing and looking towards organizing a fishing excursion for youth. He successfully filed for 501c status with the IRS and continued pushing to realize his dream of helping disadvantaged youth. Since that time, Real Guppy program has taken nearly 400 kids on over 400 kids on outdoor fishing excursions using the repaired donated fishing gear from surrounding community. In addition, Kevin Brannon has secured the support from Pizza Man Dan, Church at Parkview, Channel Island Sports Fishing, Friends of Rollo, Robert Delian, Rotary Club of Camarillo, and the Lions Club of Ventura. Real Guppy has worked with the Girls and Boys Club and the Girls and Boy Scouts of the Gold Coast region, the police activities leagues from the city of Oxnard. The Department of Wildlife provides educational support materials. The mission of Real Guppy Outdoors program is to engage youth in responsible living and activities which broaden their experiences through outdoor fishing activities, education and environmental stewardship, fishing rules and regulations, sportsmanship, conservation, not tying and fishing tricks of the trade are some of the educational goals. Please join me in congratulating Kevin Brannon on his success and recognize his work as being inspirational for the city of Port Hueneme. Most importantly, we want to encourage him to continue on and in his quest to be positively impacting the lives of the youth of our community. Kevin? I have a certificate that says Port Hueneme Pride, and it recognizes you as being somebody important to our community, and we really appreciate your efforts and hope you continue to work hard.
Thank you, Stephen.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for this award.
Do you have any words you'd like to share
I
with
wrote a
us?
couple things. We started out just taking kids out of our apartment complex to being blessed with enough gear to take as many kids as we can. We have a trip this week at Lake Casitas. We're branching into freshwater as well because some people are kind of scared of the saltwater. They go on the pier and freak out or go out on a boat, so we're kind of mixing it up with freshwater and saltwater. We do tide pool trips. We do whale watching, hiking, just really getting them inspired to get out and get some dirt under those nails, and get away from those devices and enjoy what nature has to offer.
I kind of have the honors tonight, the inspirational time. And for that purpose, I'd like to call up Stephen Gama. If you come forth, please. My concept of the inspiration is not getting up here and doing a lot of historical knowledge, which interests some and doesn't interest others. I want to see something positive for what is done in our city. People who make a difference. And one of those persons that makes a difference is Stephen Gama. Stephen Gama, he's kind of shy, so I'll go into some of his background. His dad was a well-known doctor in the Oxnard area for a long time. He is a person that kind of emulates something. He takes great pride into what our city looks like. He's a guy that gets out and does something. So despite his shyness, I'm going to ask him to tell us what he does and why he got started in one of those projects from a fellow that just recently passed away. Stephen?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. appreciate the recognition, although I don't think you should be recognized for doing something you enjoy. And yes, I do enjoy picking up trash. Didn't enjoy it at first. The last 2 times I went surfing, I got injured, and it took my knee and my shoulder several months to heal. And I like to spend a lot of time on the beach. And when Ted Waddell passed away, he was a guy that was out here for, I don't know, as long as I can remember. You'd always see him with his white bucket picking up trash. And wanting to be on the beach, not being able to surf as I recover from these injuries, I decided that, you know what, I could get a bucket and I could pick up trash. And I do it in his memory. He inspired me to pick up trash. And the first couple days I did it, I was embarrassed. You have to push yourself. And now it's kind of like I don't feel right if I don't get out there at least for a half hour in the morning and do something. And it's quite neat because I have affected some change. Some of the homeless people now don't leave their cigarette butts around for me to pick up in the morning because they see me out there every morning picking up their cigarette butts. I've met a lot of nice people out there, and it's something I'd hope that others will do. In fact, this weekend, we were a group of volunteers, and Naval Mobile Battalion 3 comes out once a month, and they had about 35 people. And they spent a couple hours on the beach, so it's really nice to see a lot of people come together to pick up trash on the beach, and like I said, I enjoy it. So I would encourage any and all of you to come out on a Saturday and help us out. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Before you dash away, Mr. Shine, I understand that you work extensively on keeping that Alaskan flight memorial up to shipshape, and that you've kind of become the Pied Piper. You get other people to help you. Elaborate on that real quick, like, please.
Yeah, every Saturday at 9 a.m. we go out and sweep it up, pick up the trash, and try and maintain it and keep it so it's the sand. You know, the sand moves every week, and so we just kind of sweep it, blow it off, clean it up if possible, and just kind of make it presentable for people that are coming out.
Thanks a lot. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Anybody else have any comments
Appreciate
to Mr. Gama?
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
And tonight, it's really particularly gratifying to me because we're going to be celebrating 4 young ladies and for their accomplishments, and their mentor, their coach, their teacher from Hueneme High School. Once a Viking, always a Viking. Now, I wasn't a Viking, but my two sons were Vikings, and so we continue to celebrate Hueneme High. So with that kind of brief introduction, I'd like to bring up Tom Dunn, who's kind of the mastermind of this whole concept of Hueneme Pride. So I would like Tom, if you would please come up and articulate in greater detail the accomplishments of these individuals.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and thank the council and the city staff for their support. And yeah, this is, I may turn and face the audience, this is very special in that Port Hueneme Pride tried to seek out individuals who were going beyond the norm to make Port Hueneme a much better place to live. And why this is special, extra special, I think, is that it does involve the youth and the way that they are working with their parents and the adults in the community. That's a special bond that will really strengthen the city and strengthen them no matter where they go. So with that in mind, Tom told you about that they were students at Hueneme High. They participated in the tennis program, and they have done something and accomplished something really, really great. And we want to recognize that. So with that, I would like to introduce their coach, Walter Moody, who will tell you about their what they have gone through in the last year or two and how what you're going to hear about Team About. Coach, welcome to.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, distinguished council members, Thank you for having us. Just a quick brief synopsis. This came about, the 4 girls here played on the varsity team at Wainini-Anka, found a website for recruiting. She put her name on the website. She received a phone call from Coach Willie Nelson, not the singer, the coach, from Heidelberg University in Tiffin, Ohio. And I started a dialogue with Coach Nelson, and through our talks, I let him know that not only did we have Bianca, who was interested in going to the school, but we had 3 of the other members of the team who were also interested in possibly attending the school. And lo and behold, because of their high GPAs, they're all honor students, and their GPAs are all about 3.6 or above. We got the call, and they were filled out the application, and they were all accepted, and they leave for Tiffin, Ohio on August 15th. And we know it's going to be cold, but I think they'll be okay. You know, they're California girls, but they're going to go to the school. They're going to represent the school, represent our community real well. And they've also told me that after they obtain their degrees, that they're going to come back to the community and help to make it better. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. What I'd like to do now is to present the Fort Wainini Pride Certificate of Merit to each one of the young women. The first one is Esmeralda Rios. Please come up. Certificate and take it with you. Thank you. Next is Alexis Hernandez. Certificate. Enjoy it and take it with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Third, Bianca Torres. Well deserving, and take it with you. Eileen Rojas. And you know what to do with it. You are about to go on the greatest journey of your life. So remember that. And this, is a surprise to you, but I would also like to give you, Coach, the merit of certificate.